Today is March 17th, 2011. This is episode 19 of Streamlining Social Media. I'm Courtney Engel. Let's take a look at today's news. First up, Google rolled out Google for Nonprofits. You can get there simply by going to their address. Google for Nonprofits is at google.com/nonprofits. This is a great way to use Google Apps and much more. Exclusive features, for instance, with YouTube and other Google outlets, all in one side of Google Apps, specifically geared at nonprofits. It looks like a great tool for a lot of awareness, and feel free to log in there to apply. Also in the news today, we have the Mac Apps Bundle debate. People have switched to buying a lot of their applications inside of the Mac App Store. You see that the prices drop when you purchase inside of the App Store compared to when you buy direct from many of the application store's own websites. However, the amount of coverage that people can get inside the Mac App Store sometimes far outweighs what people were purchasing on their own website. In addition, if users remember to kick up their Mac App Store application on their computer, if they're on a Mac, then they get to be notified about various updates. What PC World realized, though, is that there is a great article that they covered today that discusses purchasing Mac bundles from a few different places. You could check the show notes for that information, but places like Mac Bundles and Mac Super Updates and even Mac Heist, which is not running at the time, are all great ways to purchase apps that often will still be able to be updated inside the Mac App Store. The drawback here is that it's a debate whether or not you can install on multiple computers, but often a lot of the Mac bundles, you could come away with having lots of different applications at a price far less, for about 10 different applications, far less than what you would get inside the App Store. So it is still worth checking it out. See the show notes for a couple links to some of those Mac bundle places as well. Again, PC World covered it today under Mac Bundles Offer, so check there. Facebook rolled out Related Stories. Back in December, I want to say, it came online. And then it vanished, and then it came back again for about a day. In the middle of January, it left again, and now it is back yet again. So if you are logged into your Facebook account on the right-hand side of your wall, you may see a Related Stories category. It will be interesting to see how this develops. Lifehacker had a fantastic article also out today dealing with those that are time traveling. Not traveling through years and years of time, but jumping from Honolulu to New York and back again and setting appointments in the correct time zone. They do give you great tips on how to schedule your things with Google Calendar, Outlook, and I believe that they also include the Mac Mail program. What I would say is that you need to schedule the meeting based upon the time where you normally spend your hours. So you can kind of define a specific time and say, this is my home time zone, this is where I spend most of my time in that time zone. And then if you are scheduling a meeting, don't adjust your calendar anticipating that you're going to a place. Let Google do the calendar adjusting for you. So schedule it as though it was on your normal standard time at home. So again, for some of those more detailed tips and tricks, go check out Lifehacker for that information. ProBlogger had a great article today, and the article is all about the link structure, hence the image that you see here. ProBlogger was debating, and that is Darren Rose, was debating on if you should use a blog link structure that includes the date or not, if it includes various categories or not. I like that the one that ProBlogger is demonstrating here does include the date, and that is because this is a website that is very much dependent upon what's happening right now. So if you are running a site that is dealing with news, or even if it's just, a local business shop, and you say, hey, my business is in, there's a business event coming up in my downtown community, there's a community event happening, you can actually go in and list some of that information and list that based upon times, as well as your special offers. If, on the other hand, you were going to do nothing at all dealing with time and you want things that will be evergreen, you could set your permalink structure pretty easily, especially if you were running WordPress, to be able to get into posting this information without the dates. So that's a good article to check out. It's a good way to think about it. And once you set your link structure, set it, don't adjust it, because people may have your old links and changing them could impact some of your search results. That said, dealing with other WordPress news, WordPress has released an update for the iPhone and iPad app. They've tracked over 100 different changes, bug tracks, and improvements. You can check it out, and I'm looking forward to seeing WordPress making publishing photos and such to my own website a lot easier. So I like the post formats idea. I would love to see the post formats be supported inside the new mobile app, but in the meantime, go in, check it out. You can make a quick post to your website using that. In iPad-related news, if you are having some issues dealing with migrating your content from your iPad 1 up to your iPad 2, there are several ways to do this. The first is to back up everything from your iPad 1 and then go put it all onto iPad 2 as a restore option. The other option, simply suggested again in PC World, is pop the SIM card out of one and swap it right into the other, and you should be set to go after a good sync. So that's an interesting way to do it. It also carries with it the AT&T, if you're using from, obviously iPad 1 was AT&T. If you're migrating an AT&T 3G and popping a SIM and sliding it into the next iPad, that is a good tip that would work for you. That is if you stuck with AT&T. So check out PC World for more info on that one. Google's algorithm changes that we saw about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago are an interesting way to try and work your SEO strategy, especially with all the changes that they have going on. SEO Moz released today a fantastic article dealing with answering questions across the web as a great SEO tip. This is still true, this is still the case, and actually the new options here, if you see under the bottom half here, are actually giving backlinks directly to landing page B. So this is kind of an interesting idea. If you answer questions on various websites, some of the places that we used to see questions and answers are being kicked off, other ones are coming on. Those that were thought of as ill repute are no longer showing up in Google search rankings, but places like Quora are things that Google loves. So still get in, check it out. Quora is a good question and answer site. That's Quora. And also LinkedIn's question and answers can be a good one too. The FTC came out about a year and a half ago in the United States informing people that no longer can you just have testimonies and comments on your website, that it must be scientifically proven to be standard results. And a lot of people said, whoa, if I'm selling a digital product, or if I'm making a claim about my business, or if a customer just wants to say how great they think I am and I publish that on my website, then shouldn't I be able to just have it up there? The FTC wasn't believing a lot of the sites that had all sorts of claims in their product reviews. So this is the first case that I've seen, and this came out today from paidcontent.org. The first case where a company has actually been fined for some sort of a bogus online review. Again, you need to have disclosures and all sorts of statements verifying that your testimonies or your reviews are absolutely factual and what normal results are. I don't know how the FTC plans to track that off of a company's website, but on your own website, if you are based in the United States, watch out, the FTC is beginning after a year and a half to take action on the matter. This is, again, Courtney Engel. You can visit me on my website to subscribe to my podcast. You could subscribe to the blog, or you could sign up for the newsletter there. Visit me on Facebook.com/streamlining, Twitter @Courtney Engel, LinkedIn.com/in/COURANE01, or ask me a question over at formspring.me/Courtney Engel. Again, all of that information will lead you back to checking in with me and letting me know that you appreciate the shows and that you want to find out more great tech tips and content. This is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Join you again tomorrow.